Like the police officer got a little upset. He filed a privacy complaint and had the video removed. Oh man, I can't make it up, y'all. So what I'm gonna have to do is make this, I'm gonna have to fix the parts and then make this into a little 4-part series. That way, it's not as hard to fix if they try to do it again. They do try. I do love it when they resist. I love it. I really.
Today's date is Tuesday, June 17th, 2014. The time is about 52. This is OPS Director Angie Holt with the Office of Professional Standards Investigator Corporal Jason Ellis, and we're in the OPS interview room at DPS headquarters. Also present is Troop E Lieutenant Donnie Smith. We're here today to interview Lieutenant Smith regarding allegations that he has carried work hours for the Georgia State Patrol. That as he carried work hours for the Georgia State Patrol, he was also working a second job during the Masters tournament in Augusta, specifically the dates of Monday, April 7th through Sunday, April 13th. We will discuss only information about the issue of improper use of work time and not any information related to the ongoing investigation being conducted by Lisa Mayer in the Human Resources Division. Before we go any further, I got to go over a couple of things. This is an administrative investigation, not a criminal investigation, that is related to your employment with the Georgia State Patrol. Please look over this form as I explain it to you. You're being questioned as part of an official investigation of the Georgia Department of Public Safety. You will be asked questions specifically, directly, and narrowly related to the performance of your official duties or fitness for office. You're entitled to all the rights and privileges guaranteed by the laws and the Constitution of this state and the Constitution of the United States, including the right not to be compelled to incriminate yourself. I further wish to advise you that if you refuse to testify or to answer questions related to the performance of your official duties or fitness for duty, you will be subject to departmental charges which could result in your dismissal from the Georgia Department of Public Safety. If you do answer, neither your statement nor any information or evidence which is gained through such statements can be used against you in any subsequent criminal proceeding. However, these statements may be used against you in relation to subsequent administrative charges. As the Garrity warning states, this is an administrative investigation at this point. That's not to say that it can't become a criminal investigation at some point later, especially if a DA or the AG decides it needs to be investigated for possible criminal prosecution. If that happens, as long as you're truthful and forthcoming in this interview, any information that you give in this interview can't be used against you in the matter. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if you would sign and date that. We're going to ask you general questions as well as specific questions about your activities during the Masters. Donnie, I want you to be as open and honest as you can be.
That's all I know how to do, Angie.
That's all I know how to do, Angie.
You've got to give full disclosure. I don't expect you to withhold any information or peel the onion and when I say peel the onion, give us part of the truth and make us dig and dig and dig, I expect you to tell me what went on and not what you think I want to know. We've spent a good deal of time investigating, and I want to hear your side of what's going on. The investigation was begun when we received an allegation from a retired employee, a retired DPS employee, that you were supposedly on duty with the State Patrol when you were also working at the Masters. So I want you to tell me what went on the week of the Masters.
All right. I was the only troop officer here because Alan was gone. What's his name? Doug was gone. They were on vacation. A friend of mine owns a hospitality house over there on Azalea Drive. And I would go over there. It's about a mile from my house. It's right across the street. I'd go over there and I'd eat breakfast in the morning time. I'd hang out over there. I'd watch TV over there. I'd eat lunch over there. I'd leave. I'd go back, ride around. I went to see some of the sheriff's deputies. And I hung out, and every day was a different day. Monday, it was raining. I met Captain Dixon. He came over, and I went and got 2 tickets for him and gave them to him. He stayed for a little while, and it rained all day long. I went back over there and tried to get him to go have lunch with me, but I couldn't. He and his girlfriend had already left. I don't remember a lot about Tuesday.
Okay, well, let's stop for just a second. A friend of yours owns a hospitality house. Is that what you said? Who is your friend?
Spiro Papadopoulos.
Okay. And does he own it personally, or is it through a corporation? And
I'm not 100% sure, but I think that he has a corporation, but he owns several businesses. But I know he owns the house, and I know he runs the business Masters Week through there.
Augusta Sports and Travel. Does that mean anything to you?
That's the name of it, but I've only seen that name one time.
Okay. Are you employed by Augusta Sports and Travel?
The only thing I've ever done for them, Angie, is that last year, well, for like the last 10 years, I worked for a company out of New York called ACE, American Corporate Events. And they went belly up. They went broke. And they left me with $20,000 worth of, I paid all of our employees when I was with ACE, and they were supposed to give me a check back, and they didn't. I went broke. Sports and Travel, or whatever they're called, they recruit companies to come do business with them, to come buy packages from them and tickets and that kind of stuff. So one of the companies that did business with ACE is out of Canada. They're friends of mine from the years I knew with ACE. They called me last year after ACE went broke and said, who should we do business with? And I said, I don't really know. I said, I'll try to find somebody that I think you can deal with. It turned out it was Spiro. And so they came down in 2013, met with Spiro. He said, Donnie, if you can get this done, he said, I'll pay you a finder's fee. Said, okay. So I talked to him all through 2013, from like July to, I don't know, maybe October or November. And they finally settled with Spiro on a contract. And so he paid me a finder's fee for recruiting them to come to his company.
Okay, and what was the Canadian company's name?
It's Molson Coors is the name of the company.
Okay, the beer company?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Did you have a financial interest in ACE other than paying the employees out of your pocket?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so you paid them out of your personal funds.
What happened was, the way it would work is ACE, I would keep track of everybody's time, whoever worked for us. We had some employees from the department working for us. At the end of the Masters, 2013 back, for however many years it was, I would submit each one of them, Angie Holt, for 60 hours at X amount of dollars or whatever. And they in turn would write a check to that employee. And they paid me for my work, which was managing all those people. When Ace left last year, because they're not from Augusta, they're from New York. When they left town, the two owners, they were having financial problems. And they kept calling me saying, we're going to send you some checks, just hold them, don't cash them. So April goes by, May goes by, and the employees are saying, where's our money? And I'm the only local face. And they said, I kept calling. And finally, there was a lot of hard feelings because they hadn't got paid, because some of these people depend on that money for different things. And so I went to the bank and I borrowed $20,000 to pay off our employees, and thinking that Ace was going to make it good. Well, in June 23rd or something like that, sometime in the middle of June, they called me up and said, not going to happen. And they filed bankruptcy and closed up.
All right. So let's fast forward to 2014. And so do you have a financial interest in AST?
No.
What about executive?
Marketing?
Yeah.
I don't have any interest in that. That's Lewis Blanchard, who's a lieutenant with the Sheriff's Department in Augusta. That's his business.
Do you work for them at all? Okay.
No, ma'am.
Do you know Michael McDonald?
He may. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that may be Spiro's partner at Augusta Sports and Travel. That may be. He's a retired trooper from New Jersey, I believe, if that's his last name.
Okay. All right. So on Monday, you were at. Is it Azalea Drive or is it Brook?
No, Azalea Drive.
What's the address?
1018 Northwood.
Northwood
Yeah,
Drive.
that's right. I'm sorry, it's not Azalea. Ace's house was on Azalea. Northwood is where Spiro's place is. I'm sorry, that is correct.
All right. So Monday, what time did you get to the AST house on whatever the address is?
I think I met Captain Dixon over on the road over there in front of that place. It was early in the morning because he was trying to get over there around the gate. And I think it was probably, I don't recall the exact time, but it was somewhere between 7 and 8 o'clock.
Okay. Were you on duty for the patrol or off duty with the patrol? What was your work status?
I don't remember, and let me explain why I say that. There were some days I went to work because I was the only one around, and Alan kind of was always good to me about letting us come and go whenever we, wanted to work, as long as we worked 8 hours. If we worked 6 to 2, 7 to 3, 8 to 4, whatever. I don't remember that day if I came to work at 10, if I actually signed in at 10, or if I came out at 8. I don't remember, and I don't want to tell you one time and it be the other. But
Okay.
I know it was sometime that morning.
Okay. Well, how do you normally report for duty?
Sometimes, at this particular time, I called the radio room and told them I'm 1041. At this particular time, I called the radio room and told them I'm 1041 because I had been involved in a wreck in the end of, during the ice storm. And it had totaled my car. And so I didn't, MCCD car that they gave me, plain car, did not have a holder, nor did it have the stuff to hook your MDT computer up with.
Okay.
So my MDT computer was at my car, at my house. I'm
Okay.
not at my house, at my office.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would call them and say I'm 1041, and I'd call them at the end of the day and I'd say I'm 1042
Okay. So your MDT was at the
at
office
my office. Yes, ma'am.
during April. Is that right?
I think I got my car back in the middle of April. It came back from the paint and body shop in the middle of April.
Okay. So for the week of the Masters, your MDT was at the office.
It was.
Okay. And you, to report for duty, you went 1041 on the radio or on cell phone?
On cell phone.
Okay.
And the reason I did that is I would call them and I'd say, I'm 1041, is there anything going on, anything I need to know about, so they could tell me in the morning time.
Okay. All right. And then when you were off duty, you called them and said 1042?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the hours between the time you went 1041 and 1042, those were when you were on the clock for GSP?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So...
But now, let me clarify that for a bit, too. Angie.
Okay.
Because there was some day, and I don't remember what day it was, I went to work, and then I went to the golf course, and went out on the golf course and bought some stuff. And I worked later. I think I didn't get off till 6:30 or 7 that night. So I called the radio room and told them I was off, which would have looked on the paper like I had been there for 12 hours, but I think I only carried 8 hours on my timesheet.
Okay. All right. Now, let's go day by day. Monday, you called and went 1041 with the radio room.
Mm-hmm.
And were you in your in a department-issued vehicle?
I was not.
Okay, so you were on duty with the patrol, but in...
I drove my car because during Masters Week, a lot of people and dog call me that week too. They call and say the governor of Ohio is coming, or this governor's coming, or this dignitary is coming, or whatever. And so I live about a mile from Northwood Drive and from the golf course. And so I left my car there in case they call me and said, somebody's coming today at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. I could say my key is on the front, go get my car and go to the airport and pick them up.
Okay. All right, so you're in your POV
Mm-hmm.
at the AST house.
Not all the time. Some of the time.
Okay. Where are you the other part of the time that you're not at AST? This is Monday now. I'm talking about Monday.
I don't remember all of the day on Monday. It was pouring down rain all day long, and the Masters closed. The golf tournament closed.
Mm-hmm.
I had lunch at the AST house. I remember it rained all day, but I don't remember. I truly can't tell you what I did after I ate lunch. I just simply don't remember.
Okay. Did you stay at the AST house, or did you get in your POV and go somewhere? Or were you using the AST vehicle?
I'm not trying to avoid you. I swear, I just don't remember that particular.
Okay. Well, let's make it a little bit easier. What did you do for the State Patrol that day?
Let's see, check my email. I think I talked to Captain Gay from the Sheriff's Department about some dignitaries that were coming, and I think I was just hanging around on call. I don't think I did much anything after that.
So did you hang around at the AST house on call, or where did you catch call from?
I'm sure that I told you I was at the AST house. I mean, I ate lunch there, but I don't remember what time I left there. But I was there for, I would say, probably 4 hours that I know of.
Okay. Now, if I remember correctly, your timesheet on the leave accounting system carried you 4 hours Georgia comp, is it, Jason? And 4 hours worked. My question to you is, where did you work for those 4 hours? Did you ostensibly hang out at the AST house waiting for the patrol to call you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's all right. My question to you then, the follow-up would be, were you compensated in any way other than the finder's fee for the time that you spent at the AST house for those for the time that you spent there?
No, everything that I got was in that one lump sum.
Okay, so that finder's fee, as part of that finder's fee, was there the responsibility for being there at AST house?
No. There were some people that got hired to do that. I mean, I got a lump sum, and it didn't have any other responsibilities with it. But those folks were my friends. Now, the Coors people didn't come to town until Wednesday, and I don't think their program started until Thursday. So I went up there and just hung out, watched TV. I talked to Spiro. I shot shit with people up there. I'm sure I discussed a lot of different things. And I mean, I think in the old days they used to call it fucking off, but that's pretty much what I was doing.
Okay. This lump sum payment, did it come before the Masters or after the Masters?
No, I got it in December.
Okay. December of 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what you're telling me is that on Monday, for the 4 hours of comp time that you took and probably the 4 hours that you carried as work time, they were all spent in and out of the AST house.
Or somewhere in that vicinity.
But with no compensation from anyone other than the patrol.
Correct.
So you did not receive a paycheck from anyone else for your work on Monday?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Now, let me go back just a minute. I know that Lieutenant Wilson, when he got promoted to lieutenant from post 46, it's my understanding that he already had a leave request in while he was the post commander for that particular week. And that Captain Marlowe was originally scheduled to attend the National Academy in the
fall, in the winter.
Right, in the fall, but that was postponed due to sequestration.
Yes, ma'am.
And that created an issue where there would be no one in the troop but you.
Correct.
Did you discuss with Captain Marlowe any sort of arrangements during that week?
The only thing that I ever discussed with him, he said, I told him, I said, that's made a bad situation. And he said, well, why don't you just be on call? And I said, well, I think the policy is that you can't let everybody off. He said, yeah, I didn't think about that. And that was the only discussion we ever had. I didn't involve him in anything.
Okay.
I did not.
Well, did he talk to you about the possibility of having another troop officer or a troop officer from another troop to cover?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Do you keep a diary or a log of your daily activity?
I don't.
Okay. All right. So that was Monday, April the 7th.
Mhm.
Okay. So on Tuesday, do you remember what time you went 10-8, or approximately what time?
I don't. Either it was 6 in the morning or it was 8. One of those two, because I know some mornings I go to work at 6 and some I go at 8, but I know it was then.
Okay. And when you called in and you went 1041, what did you do that day?
I rode down to, I went and ate breakfast at the ST, whatever.
AST.
I'm not used to the acronym.
Right.
I went and ate breakfast there, and then I went to the golf course, and I talked to Captain Gay at the gates. We talked about the Speaker of the House coming and where he was going to park. I went inside and I bought a shirt and some other stuff. I think I left there, and I think I went to I'm not sure where I went, Angie, for a while. I know I wound up back at AST, whatever it is, and I had lunch with Sparrow. Again, I didn't do a whole lot of nothing. I mean, I just was basically in and around up there. I went to, I think I may have went over to Lewis Blanchard's place and talked to him for a minute.
Who is that?
He's the owner of Executive Marketing, but he's a lieutenant with the sheriff's office down there. I don't remember very much of the rest of the day, to be honest with you. Nothing that stuck out of my mind.
All right. Were you in your POV, or were you in
So, I think I was driving Spiro's car that day. I think.
Okay. And would it be accurate? Well, no, let me go back. What work did you do for the patrol that day?
I went and talked to Captain Gay. I made sure of where the dignitaries were going to park, which was gate 5A or some business like that. I shot the breeze with Emilio Lampkin, who is lieutenant with the sheriff's department. I really didn't. Again, it was just I didn't have any pending work, and it was just one of them.
Okay, so, all right, did the patrol have an official capacity at the Masters that week?
Semi. We provide off-duty guys there.
No, I'm talking about regular.
Okay. Other than when setting up for, what do you call it? Dignitaries, no.
Okay. And who handled the dignitary details?
The Speaker of the House, his driver came, but I'm not sure which one it was. Dog called me from the governor's office and gave me a couple of them. I called Richie Howard, had Richie set up whoever was supposed to do it. There was some confusion because Dog reached out to Sergeant Howard in Madison. I told him no, that was the wrong one. Mm-hmm. And that was what I did.
Okay.